you do, honest you do, honest you do. Oh, you thrill me, darling, you thrill me, baby, you thrill me, honest you do, honest you do, honest you do.
Hello! Hi! Welcome to our online letter writing party. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really pleased that you're here. And I'm really grateful that you've taken time out of your Wednesday evening to do this, so thank you so much. Just before, we're going to have a little bit of poetry and some music in a minute, but just before we start, I just want to take a little bit of time to explain the meaning behind this event. So firstly, what is a letter writing party? It sounds a little bit strange. So it works in a similar way to an online fundraiser. There's been quite a few of those popping up since we've been in lockdown. But instead of asking you to donate money, I'd like you to send a letter. I'm a member of my local Amnesty International group, which is based on the Wirral. And Amnesty International is a global human rights charity. And they take action on anything that they consider to be a breach of human rights. One of the ways in which they do this is by encouraging people all the world over to send letters to people in power. So public figures, world leaders, asking them to make positive changes to their policies to make them more respectful of human rights. Sometimes they ask people to send letters demanding that certain prisoners are freed or released from prison. People who Amnesty International considered to be prisoners of conscience, meaning that they haven't actually committed any crimes. They've simply been targeted for their political views or for speaking out against the government or for peaceful protest. Now, it may seem a little bit optimistic, a little bit whimsical, to assume that sending letters can actually make a change to such huge, complex political issues. But actually, it has proved to be a successful solution in the past. So I'm just going to show you just a couple of very short videos created by Amnesty International because they can explain it a little bit better than me.
Words. They can do anything. They can call in a dog at night. They can bring comfort to an old friend. They can say happy birthday to a girl whose balloons are slowly sinking. But sometimes, words can get you into trouble. Like the human rights activist in Zimbabwe who was kidnapped for standing up to government corruption, or the journalist in China sentenced to 10 years in prison for sending an email, or the thousands of men and women in Iran who were beaten, arrested, and tortured just for demanding a fair election. Now we need your words to demand justice, to take a stand, to offer hope to people around the world who are silenced for simply speaking their minds. Write a letter or speak out today. Your words can lead to their freedom. Words. They can do anything.
And I'm a former political prisoner.
I spent 44 years in solitary confinement.
one of the reasons why I personally like to be involved in Amnesty International is because, to me, sending a letter directly to the people who have the power to make change feels to me a very effective form of action, a very concentrated form of action, especially when it's letters that are written in an informed way and you're being informed by an organisation that has a wider strategy. It has proven to be very powerful. Obviously, it isn't always effective in the way you'd like it to be, because unfortunately the people you're appealing to have their own agenda, which doesn't always align with your views or with what is best for human beings. But at the very least, it puts pressure on governments and individuals and lets them know that we as a planet internationally are concerned about issues. So through my work with, well, not work, but through my involvement in my Amnesty International group, I was informed about a case about a gentleman called Ruben Gonzalez. Ruben is a trade union leader. He is considered by Amnesty International to be a prisoner of conscience. He's been in prison now for 2 years tomorrow. And he has spent many years protesting and campaigning for workers' rights. He's fighting for fairer pay, more reliable contracts and safer working conditions. He was arrested following a peaceful protest and was subjected to a military trial despite being a civilian, and was sentenced without any evidence. For the duration of his imprisonment, he has been denied access to medical care despite suffering from hypertension and kidney failure. As we speak, he is still being denied that essential medical care, and he has been very sick. I'm asking you to send a letter to the Venezuelan embassy in London demanding that Ruben is released from prison. I'm going to tell you, how to access templates for that letter, where to send it, the address, all of that. I'm going to talk you through all of that. And then there's going to be some brilliant poetry and some music for you to listen to while you write /print/sign those letters. But just before we get started, we'll get started in a second, but first I'm going to play you a song, give you a bit of music for some letter writing motivation. So here's Oshin Hassan.
Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Out of bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is he good to you? Can he do the things that I do? I can take you higher. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edge of the door. Could've sent chicks right in the bottom of my soul. And now I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and the freight train running through the middle of my head. Who am I desire?
you, Oisin, for that brilliant cover of Bruce Springsteen. That was great. Oisin is a singer-songwriter from Liverpool. Some of his main influences are Cat Stevens, Springsteen, obviously, and the Peace Pirates. You can check out some more of his music on Instagram at oisin.hassan or on his YouTube account. So thank you for that. So I'm just going to talk you through how to send letters, where to access templates and where to send them. If you have Instagram, there's one way to do it. If you don't have Instagram, don't panic, I'll tell you what to do in a second. But firstly, if you have Instagram, if you go onto the Amnesty International Wirral page, Amnesty International Wirral, all one word, go to their bio, and there is a link to a Google document. This is a letter template. So all you have to do is simply print it out, sign the bottom, and send it to the address that is provided on the document. Or if you don't have a printer, like me, I can't print them off, handwrite it, copyright the words. We're encouraged to customise the letter as well so that it looks a little bit more personal. But obviously, if you're not sure how to customise it, and you don't because of the political context, then it's perfectly okay to just copy it out word for word. It's not very long, and the idea is that you can use this time to handwrite it while you listen to the poems and the music. If you're not comfortable going to the post office for any reason, you can copy and paste that letter into the body of an email and send it to an email address which is also provided in the document. So there's 3 ways you can do that. If you don't have Instagram, then send me an email at kpurchase-ward@outlook.com, and I will send you a template. I did say in the advert for this that this event would allow you to take a stand for human rights without spending a penny. Obviously, sending a letter does cost money, a second-class stamp, that's all, because you're only sending it to the London Embassy, you're not sending it to Venezuela, so it's not going overseas. But obviously, if for any reason you can't afford a stamp, which is nothing to be embarrassed about, I've been there myself where I've literally not been able to afford a stamp, then send me an email. Put in the email that you consent to sending a letter to me, signing your name at the bottom, and that you've read the letter. It's very important that you read the letter so that you know what you're signing. You should always be informed about what it is that you're taking action about. And then send that email to me. But if possible, please try and send that tonight, because I will be going to the post office in the morning. I mentioned earlier that tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of Ruben's imprisonment. So Amnesty want us to really push action tomorrow and really send a lot of letters and a lot of emails. So I'm going to try and get as many off as possible tomorrow, which was the purpose of doing this event tonight. So yeah, so that's all you need to do. If you want to take a little bit of time to do that now, we're going to have some poetry and some music. So first we have some writing from the lovely Hattie Atkins. Hattie is a writer originally from Manchester who is now living and studying in Edinburgh. Her prose and poetry have appeared in the Selkie, Aurelia magazine and the Open Mouse, and is forthcoming in Gutter magazine. Thank you for joining us, Hattie.
Hello, my name is Hattie Atkins and I'm going to be reading some poetry and a short story tonight. So this first one is called Home Remedies. I mourn the mornings, body folded like pastry, unfurling in the autumn sun, cocooned world like an unsheathed conker that could fit, squeezed, into the small of my palm. I grieve the lunches, the love language of a careful father, speaking strength into soft stomachs, blood transfusions of red soup, heart monitor like radio static. I lament the evenings, past now with nightingale song, how a mother could stretch late night chat into elasticities, spoken lullabies for the floating home. I miss the nights and the mattress beneath that opens its mouth and swallows me whole. This second poem is called All Creatures and it originally appeared on Aurelia magazine. You emerge, bow-legged and blinking into the sun, skin paled like fruits before the harvest. I ask where you've been, but you sigh and shake your head, and we tread the path home, careful and unspeaking, mud emptying from your pockets like an offering. I offer a bowl and I offer a bed, but you're sated despite all you've abstained and lethargic despite all you've slept. Awoken from 200 days of slumber, you're burrowed beneath the earth both a sanctuary and a sacrifice, It is the end of hibernation at last. This last poem is called The Goldfish and Me, and I wrote it very recently. As a child of 8, did I understand then what it meant to be perishable? The goldfish, blanketed form passing, memorialised in bathroom service, ceremonially ejected through the earth's old tunnels, a parenting technique tried and tested. Did I understand what it meant to exist in goldfish bowl panic, sentient desperation, and the next in its absence? At swim one fish, 2 fins towards the surface in a suicidal performance. Or did I understand what it meant to perpetrate by proxy, to sit back and allow, fingertips tapping shallow glass, fish forgotten response? I learnt it was easy, blameless, staged with closed-lid crowd peering in. Perhaps I knew it would be when I begged Dad to bring the prize thing home, fairground bagged and bruised, homely transition. Perhaps I pretended not to know. Later, passing body bloated, did I claim naivety, self-diagnosed with an affliction of apathy? The goldfish sunk low, tireless circles. As a child of 8, did I unlearn apathy before or after I was called down to tea? Or, like the goldfish, did I forget? So this final one is a short story that also originally appeared on Aurelia magazine, and it is called The Bonfire. Arms laden with cardboard boxes, she leads me outside and across the garden. Her socked feet are on tiptoe, anticipating the early morning damp of the grass. Dawn, breaking bright and rain-washed, is kept out of the garden by the surrounding hedgerows. A lumbering oak tree plunges the whole space into shadow. Within this shadow sits something that was not there before, a smouldering bonfire, orange flames flickering and transforming, ashy smoke spitting from its peak. She's been working on the bonfire all night, she tells me. I decide that an absence of reaction is better than an adverse one. Besides, in her expansive repertoire of absurdity, this hardly tops the list. She removes the lid from the uppermost box. Inside, the photographs of a previous life wait patiently their turn for cremation. I pluck something small from the thicket of her hair, a ripped oblong of paper, charred black along one edge, before we turn from each other to assess her creation for a moment. I wonder whether something so ruinous can be described as creation. Gradually, she offloads the contents of the box into the flames. Although she assures me that it must be done, that one existence cannot begin until another is reduced to kindling, the sight of the blackening and curling and distorting of faces, of figures and buildings and memories long gone, cause my insides to shift uncomfortably. I avert my gaze, looking back towards the house. Legal papers, bank statements, bills and various ambiguous documents follow the photographs, and books and pamphlets and leaflets and instructional guides and forgotten takeaway menus follow them. The bookshelves are stripped bare, hollowed like a spooned-out pomegranate. I grimace and remind myself that these things are inanimate, that they are oblivious to the untimely ends forced upon them under the guise of new beginnings. By midday, the kitchen cupboards are emptied too. Crockery, mugs, pans and cutlery made absent. We eat a lunch of bread and cheese on squares of kitchen roll, which are later tossed into the bonfire as well. When the remnants of what came before, wall hangings and DVDs and mantelpiece ornaments, old cassettes and bedside lamps and the welcome mat, are incinerated, she begins work on the house itself. At this point I have no choice but to join her, to become an accomplice in the chaos. We leave the scattered furniture as it is, most of it too heavy to haul outside, and move on to ripping the wallpaper from the walls and the curtains from their hangings and the carpet from its manufactured roots. Burgundy fibres gather beneath our fingernails and papery residue sticks to the sheen of our skin like snowflakes to a pane of glass. It is dusk by the time she takes a breath and slows, seemingly replete. I imagine that she would have gone all the way, however, if she could have. She would have dislodged the windows from their frames and melted them down in the fire's yellow heat, and she would have ripped the plaster from the walls in dusty off-white clumps, and she would have heaved the bricks from their foundations slowly, one by one, teeth bared animalistic through the strain. Night eventually falls. Outside, under the imposing glow of the bonfire, she waits the freedom of the new beginning, her purge of the previous complete. She raises an imaginary glass, for all hers are now gone, and makes a toast. Above us, dense tendrils of smoke disappear against a bruised blue sky. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Hattie. That was beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you. So next we have a writer called Ellie Taylor. Ellie is a writer and director working in theatre and film. She is currently developing Mad Alice, a short film with Film Hub North, and her first feature with the support of the BFI network. She's asked me to read this following piece for her. It's called An Energy of Nothingness. An energy of nothingness. I want to be a whole new person. Or me, but not me with all these feelings. None of this sick fear, none of this loneliness, none of this nothingness. I am sick and I am numb. I am tense. I want to feel fine. I want to have confidence in my voice. Perhaps I should learn a whole new language, speak only in that tongue, so as to mask my real voice and words, and in doing so mask my grief. I can't bear my own voice anymore. I'm silent always, because to hear me sound like I can't bear it. The familiarity, the sound. It should be full of comfort, but it's nothing but cruelty. My chest hurts, my head hurts, my head burns, my eyes itch. And I am here. I am here because I am alone in the world, now. So why not be fully alone, wholly alone? I will never feel home again, never feel full. I will never have the right kind of face again, voice again. Our similarity we had is now a curse. I am so alone. I must be totally alone, a stranger. If I'm a stranger, then nobody will ask me anything as my friend. In this anonymity, I can be quiet, alone. As a stranger, I can feel everything in peace. No pretense, no performance. This is not a performance. I can just be. Sometimes we all need to just be. Nothingness. That was beautiful, Ellie. Thank you so much for sending that over. So now we've got another song from Oisin. Here's him and Paul Dunbar doing their version of Eddie Vedder's Society.
Oh, it's a mystery to me. We have agreed, from which we have agreed, to think that you may want more than you need. Till you have it all, you won't be free. Society, you're a crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me.
Want more than you have, think you need. When you think more than you want, your thoughts begin to bleed. I think I need to find a bigger place where you have more than you think, you need more space. Society, you're a crazy breed. I hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. I hope you're not lonely without me.
There's those thinking more, less is more. But if less is more, then how you keeping score? Every point you make, your levels rise. Kinda like you're starting from the top. Can't do that. Society, you're a crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, have mercy on me. Hope you're not angry if I disagree. Society,
society. Crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me.
Next we have a poem from the lovely Louise Evans. Louise is a postgrad focusing on contemporary Spanish poetry published on social media. She has performed her poetry in both Liverpool and Madrid. She has previously written for Aurelia magazine, Another North and Give Poetry a Chance, the anthology. This poem, Blinkers, is an attempt at her recognising her own privilege. Thank you, Louise.
Blinkers. Has it always been so difficult to drag one sapped foot after the other, listening to the sound of your soles scraping on the asphalt? An endless journey, the destination that never dares come closer. Did we always used to move so effortlessly through life, sporting our blinkers of privilege, those little masks of twisted sacrilege, rolling in a state of perpetual blind and gratified pride? Was it frustrating to try to instruct and conduct our obtuse but plump little cherubim minds, the real message consistently just out of reach, the fog that clouds our thinking caps reeling back in before your very eyes? Endless questions, but the hour is late. It's time to halt and refrain from our lives of take, take, take. It's time to read and educate, to understand what's been at stake. Goodbye, dear blinkers, you gave me ignorant bliss, but one warped and broken to be unflinchingly dismissed. Now we'll strive to understand and lend a hand and stand and demand a level field, a destination that is so easy to reach so that we may all move effortlessly through life.
Thank you, Louise. That was a really powerful poem and I think really fitting for this event as well. So thanks for that. So that's all now, I think, from the poetry. Thank you so much to everyone who's contributed. This was all a very last minute rush, really, so I'm really, really appreciative to everyone who got involved and helped me out. So I'm just going to leave you with one more song in a minute, but first I just want to say a couple of things. If anyone has any questions at all about anything to do with the letter writing process or to do with the campaign itself, leave a comment below this video and I'll reply as soon as possible. There should also be a link below that leads to some more information about Ruben Gonzalez and about the campaign and about the wider context, if anyone's curious. If anyone is on Twitter and would like to do one little last thing for the cause, Amnesty International have said it's a really effective way to communicate with the President of Venezuela, President Maduro. So if you would consider tweeting a short message, I have put a template tweet in the comments below, so feel free to copy and paste that, making sure to address Nicolas Maduro. And finally, the raffle. So there's some small but still fancy prizes. We've got some soap, some tea from Sweet Pea Wirral and some Taylor's coffee. That'll be one all together for one winner as like a little hamper. All you have to do is take a picture of yourself sending a letter. So it doesn't have to include your face. It can be anonymous. It can just be your hand sending the letter, with the address for the Venezuelan embassy on the envelope. Some people have already sent letters well before this event was even considered. So if you've already sent me a picture of you sending a letter, then you've already been automatically entered into the raffle. So if not, and you're going to send a letter for demanding Ruben's freedom tomorrow, then just take a second, take a quick little snap of the picture, email it over to me at the address that I've already mentioned, and I'll announce the winner this weekend on Amnesty International Wirral's Instagram page. If you don't have Instagram and you've emailed me, if you say that in your email, I'll email you back and let you know if you've won. So yeah, so that's it. So thank you so much to everyone for coming. I hope it was okay. I'm just going to leave you now with one last song from Machine. This is his own song that he's written and it's called Anyone's Hero.
Oh, we didn't want to go to war. We didn't want to fight. We just wanted to carry on and get on with our lives. But no one ever gave us time. No one understood. Didn't want to be anyone's hero. Just wanted to do good. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. We're stuck here in this jungle now. I don't know who to trust. Away from the people, the family that I love. The only person I can see is my brother who is next to me. The only one who understands where I'm coming from. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh. We didn't want to go to war. We didn't want to fight. We just wanted to carry on and get on with our lives. But no one ever gave us time. No one understood. Didn't want to be anyone's hero. Just wanted to do good. Just wanted to do good.